inkproducts.com has now released the world's first continuous ink system, CIS, for HP's Officejet Pro 8020, 8025, 8022, 8028, 8035, and then there's more other models. But basically it uses the new HP 910 cartridges. I'm going to show you how simple it is to install this system.
The quick setup, I'll show you what's going on and how we have it set up and what everything is actually for. A couple of things here we added on our CIS. Watch the or listen to the instructions, and we noticed this right here. This is actually the lock for the scanner bed. See, we had to add that on there because the way they built up the walls on the printer, and I'll explain that in a second. So in your kit, when you put this together, don't forget to actually install this little felt tape that we give you. What that does is, when you have the printer lid down, you're allowed to open this up. If you didn't have that on there, it would be locked and you would have to open everything up, and it's a lot easier. So don't forget to put that on there. A couple other things really important in the setup. Make sure that you have enough hose travel, obviously, but we have this on a bend and it's going to actually snake out the back. So just kind of make sure it's flat, and it'll, over a period of time, it'll flatten itself, but very important, that part right there. Good hose travel. This right here is actually our little bypass plug. What that does is it tricks the printer in thinking that the lid is down. Now the printer is going to sit off just a little bit, but it doesn't affect anything. This cover right here is actually meaningless. Doesn't do anything, but if it's open, it's going to give you that arrow right there, so just make sure that's closed. Couple other things. On the printer itself, when you get the printer, they put a dynamic security out there, and that's on all the HPs now. In your settings, I can go that in a minute after it's done printing. I can show you how to turn it off, but it's very important that you have that turned off, and I'll show you that in a minute. The proper settings to run this system here. It's almost finished. In here, you can run it on best quality, and there's a selection in here which I'll show you in a minute. It's called HP Presentation Matte Paper. This is what I run it on. You're pulling a lot of ink through the system. It's a pigmented ink, so we want to put it on the best settings. Now on normal everyday printing, I keep it on best, nothing below best. It's going to extend the life of the print head too, keeps a lot of ink flowing through quick. And this is just plain paper, regular Staples paper here. You can see the quality coming out on that. The settings are important, like we were talking about. One, to shut off the automatic updates. Now you'll see a couple of selections above here. You want to hit that little gear wheel, what I call that. Just go ahead and click that. The preferences, different selections in here. What we want to look for is printer maintenance. So we'll click on printer maintenance. You'll see clean print head, smear print head, update the printer. Very important, these two. You want to have this off all the time. The printer, when you purchase it, is set for automatic. You don't want that on there. So right now we're going to go to that. There's 3 selections in there. Obviously you want the one do not check. Like I said, when you first buy the machine, it's going to be set either for one of those or one of those, but you want to do that. Then all you'll do is hit back, and that's it. That's set. The other thing is a new item that we've come out with. It's going to actually help you in a CIS system or just refilling your cartridges. So when you get this, you can actually, if you have an extra set of cartridges, you can fill them up in case of an emergency or something. But here's what you want to do. A lot of times if you run out of ink, you'll get some air into your cartridge, into your line there. Before, we have these. Now these still work, but they're a little bit temperamental sometimes. If you don't get it right on there, you're not going to get a good purge. It's kind of time consuming. So what you'll do is, I'm just going to kind of show you with this, but if this is attached to the CIS, basically this was the CIS cartridge. But what you're going to do is first, you're going to plug up all your bottles. You'll remove the system, put on your orange clips. And let me show you real quick, because we have a lot of calls and a lot of emails on people aren't putting these on properly. It's hard to show you the instructions, but the first little trick is you want to get the tab right there. You're going to swing it through the little cutout, and very important, you're just going to squeeze and make sure you hear that click. So that's just an extra thing I want to talk about, because we get them back sometimes and people think you just go ahead and squeeze it in there and it breaks the cartridge. So that's what I want to say. But anyways, here's what I wanted to show you. This is the CIS cartridge. Say it's in there. You're going to remove it. Make sure it's snapped in. You're going to hear a click. Now, the line would be obviously attached, but all you're going to do is pull back and then hold. And it's going to bring the ink through the line and fill the cartridge from the bottom up. Now, when you get a little ink in the bottom of this here, like we show you in the instructions, so make sure you pay attention to the instructions, you're just going to go ahead and deliver that right back to the bottle. But it's a lot easier. You're going to get an even fill. So this is just an extra thing that you can purchase because, like I said, you can use it for refilling cartridges, and also it really works really well for the CIS.